April 2025 is just around the corner, and it's packed with exciting games. From chilling zombie nightmares to nostalgic throwbacks, and even artistic, emotional journeys, there's so much to explore. We'll be diving into all of it this month. Hey everyone, it's Kinnan, and today on Red Creep, we're counting down the top 10 new games coming in April 2025. Real-time strategy fans, rejoice! Tempest Rising is bringing back everything you love about the golden age of RTS games. Set to launch on April 24th for PC, this upcoming title by Slipgate Ironworks is a passionate love letter to legendary games like Command & Conquer and StarCraft, but with a fresh coat of modern polish and storytelling ambition. If you've been craving old-school strategy with updated graphics, deep faction mechanics, and the thrill of base-building warfare, Tempest Rising should be on your radar. The game takes place in an alternate history version of 1997, where Earth has been devastated by a mysterious, fast-growing alien plant known as the Tempest. This powerful resource has upended global stability, sparking a high-stakes war for control. Two powerful factions dominate the battlefield. Global Defense Forces, GDF, a high-tech peacekeeping force with advanced military hardware and mobile operations. Tempest Dynasty, a brutal, hard-hitting faction that draws strength from the very plant they seek to control. And if that wasn't enough, a mysterious third faction lurks in the shadows, teasing unexpected narrative twists and surprise strategies to keep players on their toes. Fans of traditional RTS will feel right at home in Tempest Rising. It features all the essentials: resource gathering to fuel your economy, base construction to secure your presence on the map, unit production and micromanagement to control the battlefield, fast, fluid combat with an emphasis on tactical decision-making. Each faction offers asymmetrical gameplay, different economic systems, unit rosters, and combat styles, which makes every match feel fresh and strategically unique. In a nod to classic RTS design, Tempest Rising introduces a veterancy system, where units gain experience by dealing damage. There are 3 veterancy tiers, each boosting your unit's effectiveness and rewarding careful play and preservation. This system adds an extra layer of tactical depth, encouraging players to manage not just the macro game of economy and army size, but the micro decisions of unit survival and positioning. The game boasts 2 full single-player campaigns, one for each of the primary factions. You'll step into the role of a commander in either the Global Defense Forces or the Tempest Dynasty, battling across a variety of missions, environments, and objectives. Cutscenes are rendered in-engine, helping to maintain immersion while pushing the story forward. The narrative, like the gameplay, is inspired by the gritty, exaggerated military storytelling of 90s-era RTS classics. Multiplayer in Tempest Rising is packed with options to satisfy both casual and competitive players. Skirmish mode for battles against AI. Custom games with a variety of rule sets. Ranked matchmaking powered by an Yellow system. The game also features a robust set of customization tools, allowing players to tailor gameplay to their preferences in both single-player and multiplayer modes. Whether you're an old-school RTS veteran or a newcomer to the genre, you'll find ways to play that match your pace and style. Whether you're a longtime fan of the genre or just curious to dip your toes into strategic warfare, Tempest Rising looks like the real deal. With polished gameplay, deep faction dynamics, and classic RTS energy, it's shaping up to be a surprise hit of the year. Mark your calendar. Tempest Rising deploys on April 24th. Prepare your strategies, build your base, and command your forces to victory in a war for control over the mysterious power of the Tempest. RTS is back, and it means business. If you're a fan of massive mechanized warfare and high-stakes multiplayer chaos, Steel Hunters is a name you'll want to remember. Developed by the team behind World of Tanks and World of Warships, this new free-to-play PvPv mech shooter is entering early access on April 2nd, and it's aiming to redefine what players expect from the genre. Unlike gritty mech sims like MechWarrior, Steel Hunters leans into fast-paced action and tactical strategy, blending elements of hero shooters, battle royales, and extraction-style gameplay. It's not a full-on simulation, but it's packing enough metal-on-metal mayhem to get mech fans excited, and cautious optimism is definitely warranted. Steel Hunters positions itself in the sweet spot between chaotic action and thoughtful mech customization. As a player versus environment, PvPv title, the game drops you into a battlefield where you'll face AI-controlled enemies with dynamic behavior, fight other players for control of valuable resources, and extract safely before you're overwhelmed. This gameplay loop brings high tension and strategic depth, especially when navigating a battlefield full of both human threats and unpredictable environmental hazards. While it's not quite a mech sim like MechWarrior, Steel Hunters seems to borrow more from the likes of Armored Core, fast, fluid mech movement with a focus on hero class variety and loadout flexibility. Each mech, or hunter, appears to have unique abilities, weapons, and playstyles, pulling inspiration from hero shooters to create a diverse roster of mechanical combatants. Whether you prefer long-range sniping, up-close brawling, or support roles, there seems to be a chassis built for your strategy. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Free-to-play can be a double-edged sword. While it lowers the barrier to entry, it also raises questions about monetization, progression systems, and long-term content support. But given the pedigree of the developers, who have successfully sustained large multiplayer ecosystems in World of Tanks and World of Warships, there's reason to believe Steel Hunters could strike the right balance. If the devs can resist the urge to over-monetize and instead focus on fair competition and deep mech gameplay, this could be a standout success. There's something undeniably exciting about the concept. A tactical mech shooter with PvPvE elements, free-to-play accessibility, and a focus on team-based objectives. It's ambitious, but potentially game-changing. Here's what's working in its favor. Proven devs with a track record of long-running multiplayer titles. Modern twist on mech gameplay, emphasizing action and variety. Extraction mechanics layered with PvPvE intensity. Free-to-play with likely live service support. The early footage and trailers hint at a visually striking world, with detailed mechs, gritty urban battlefields, and plenty of firepower to experiment with. The pace looks snappy, the action tight, and the team-based mechanics thoughtfully designed. Steel Hunters is entering early access on April 2nd, exclusively on PC for now. This phase will help refine gameplay, balance combat roles, and gauge community response as the devs prepare for a larger release. If you're someone who enjoys shaping a game from the ground up or just loves the idea of jumping into a mech and dominating the battlefield, this is your opportunity. Get ready to step into a twisted reimagining of the Deep South with South of Midnight, the upcoming action-adventure game from Compulsion Games, the visionary studio behind We Happy Few. With an official release date of April 8th, this genre-defying title is set to launch on PC and Xbox Series XS, bringing players into a hauntingly beautiful world where folklore comes alive. Set in a reimagined version of the American South, South of Midnight invites players into the town of Prospero, a once lively place now left in ruins after a mysterious hurricane strikes. But this isn't just any natural disaster. In the storm's wake, strange occurrences begin to unfold. The local southern folklore, once merely bedtime stories and whispered legends, now walks among the living. You play as a young protagonist navigating the aftermath, piecing together the mysteries behind the storm, and confronting supernatural entities that are as intriguing as they are terrifying. What sets South of Midnight apart is its deeply immersive narrative steeped in Southern Gothic themes, from eerie small-town secrets to supernatural forces lurking just beneath the surface. Think of a world that blends the whimsical creepiness of Tim Burton with the gritty texture of Louisiana's backwoods and bayous. From ghostly spirits and mythical creatures to powerful relics and dark magic, the game paints a picture of a South that is both haunting and enchanted. It's a unique take on fantasy storytelling that weaves regional legends into an engaging narrative. As players traverse Prospero and its surrounding landscapes, they'll gain access to magical abilities that evolve over time. These powers aren't just for flashy combat. They're tools for puzzle solving, navigating twisted terrains, and unlocking ancient secrets hidden in the remnants of the town. Gameplay will focus on exploration, narrative-driven quests, and intense action sequences that test both reflexes and decision-making. The art style, a bold blend of stylized realism and dreamlike surrealism, makes every moment feel like stepping into a storybook laced with shadows. South of Midnight stands out visually thanks to its distinctive art style. The environment oozes atmosphere, with moss-covered trees, foggy swamps, and dilapidated buildings that hint at forgotten histories. The visuals carry a handcrafted, animated feel, reminiscent of stop-motion films, but with a distinct Southern identity that grounds the fantasy in a real-world aesthetic. This Louisiana-inspired design doesn't just influence the scenery, it seeps into the soundtrack, dialogue, and characters, making the world feel authentic, lived in, and deeply rooted in culture. If you played We Happy Few, you already know that Compulsion Games excels at crafting offbeat, emotionally resonant worlds. With South of Midnight, they're taking that storytelling talent to a new level, using the South's rich tapestry of myths and legends to create something truly original. Expect layered characters, morally complex choices, and moments of surreal introspection. But unlike We Happy Few dystopian vibe, South of Midnight leans into hope, resilience, and the power of confronting the past to build a better future. If you've ever wondered what would happen if the gritty chaos of Mad Max collided with towering mech straight out of Howl's moving castle, wonder no more. Sand, an upcoming open-world PvPv extraction shooter, blends post-apocalyptic survival with hulking mechanical warfare, and it's aiming to stomp onto the scene in a big way. Launching into early access on PC on April 3rd, this game is already turning heads at its core. Sand is a PvPv, player versus environment, shooter set in a desolate, sand-swept world. Players navigate the hostile terrain using massive, mobile mechs, scavenging resources, battling enemies, and trying to extract before being wiped out. The world design and aesthetic clearly pull from the brutal, sun-bleached tone of Mad Max, but there's a refreshing twist. You're piloting colossal, stomping machines, not souped-up cars. These machines are less sleek military mechs and more like walking fortresses, bringing a style that's oddly reminiscent of Howl's Moving Castle, industrial, scrappy, and full of character. PvPv extraction shooters are a genre where players not only fight against AI-controlled threats, the environment, but also compete or cooperate with other real players for limited resources and extraction opportunities. Think Escape from Tarkov, but with mechs. In Sand, this formula gets a fresh coat of dust and diesel. You'll explore a vast open world, contend with dangerous NPC enemies, and face off against rival players trying to complete the same objectives. Success isn't just about firepower, it's about strategy, timing, and knowing when to flee. And with giant customizable mechs at your disposal, the gameplay opens up a wide range of creative possibilities, from full-on frontal assaults to sneaky, sandstorm-covered escapes. If you're a fan of mech warrior-style mechanical combat, post-apocalyptic world building like Mad Max, tactical multiplayer shooters, open-world exploration mixed with high-stakes extractions, then Sand is probably already on your radar. While this isn't MechWarrior by any means, it does channel some of that same satisfaction. Lumbering firepower, loadout tweaking, and battlefield positioning, but through the lens of survival and scavenging rather than pure simulation. There's no denying Sand looks ambitious. Its early trailers and gameplay previews have captured a lot of attention, thanks to its unique concept, immersive world, and killer mech designs. But the genre it's diving into is not an easy one. Extraction shooters live or die by their balance, progression systems, and player engagement. The question now is whether developer Tower 5 can truly deliver a polished and rewarding experience. If they get the pacing right, blending downtime, exploration, and high-stakes encounters, Sand could become a standout title in the extraction shooter space. Sand will hit early access on April 3rd, exclusively for PC. This initial release will let players get a taste of the mech-powered mayhem, while the developers continue to refine mechanics, expand content, and gather community feedback. If you're into early-stage titles and love being part of a game's growth and evolution, this might be the perfect opportunity to get in on the ground floor of something exciting. Welcome to Red Rock, a fictional near-future city where cutting-edge AI, climate turmoil, and corporate dominance collide in a world that feels disturbingly close to our own. Mind's Eye, an upcoming story-driven action-adventure thriller, throws players into a deeply immersive narrative filled with suspense, mystery, and high-stakes combat. An experience tailor-made for fans of gripping cinematic storytelling. This isn't just another futuristic shooter. Mind's Eye aims to deliver the emotional intensity of a prestige television drama with the interactivity and adrenaline of a AAA video game. Players take on the role of Jacob Diaz, a former elite soldier haunted by the past. After being implanted with the Mind's Eye, a powerful neural device, Jacob begins to experience fragmented memories of a covert mission gone terribly wrong. Memories that may hold the key to uncovering a larger conspiracy that threatens the balance between man, machine, and power. As Jacob struggles to piece together his fractured mind, players will unravel a twisting narrative that explores the consequences of unchecked technology, government surveillance, and corporate greed. Set in Red Rock, a dystopian metropolis shaped by AI robots, tech billionaires, climate catastrophe, and ongoing civil unrest, Mind's Eye presents a world that is equal parts sci-fi and social commentary. The clash between human freedom and artificial control is more than a backdrop. It's central to the game's thematic depth. Whether you're storming high-security corporate facilities or navigating the tense politics of a society on the brink, the game's near-future realism helps ground its more fantastical elements in a world that feels eerily familiar. Unlike many modern games that boast massive open worlds, Mind's Eye takes a different approach, favoring a tight, narrative-focused structure that keeps the story front and center. Every mission is carefully crafted to maintain narrative momentum, similar to watching a tightly written thriller unfold over several binge-worthy episodes. This linear design allows the developers to fine-tune pacing, environments, and emotional beats for maximum impact. Think less sandbox and more cinematic roller coaster. From high-octane driving sequences to explosive firefights, Mind's Eye keeps the action varied and intense. The developers promise seamless transitions between cutscenes and gameplay, visually stunning cinematics powered by next-gen technology, fluid, reactive combat mechanics, emotionally driven character interactions. The goal? To create an experience that feels like playing an interactive action thriller movie, where your decisions and reflexes shape the outcome of each pulse-pounding moment. The team behind Mind's Eye set out to craft a game that feels like a prestige TV series brought to life through interactive storytelling. Expect deep character development, shocking plot twists, and episode-like mission structure that keeps players coming back for more. Each chapter peels back another layer of the conspiracy surrounding Jacob, the Mind's Eye implant, and the future of humanity itself. Pre-orders for Mind's Eye are now open, and there's a limited-time promotion running. Get the deluxe edition for the price of the standard edition. This deal gives players early access to extra content, exclusive digital bonuses, and the full immersive experience at no extra cost. If you're looking for a cinematic action adventure that doesn't just entertain but also provokes thought, Mind's Eye is poised to deliver. With its high production values, ambitious storytelling, and tight gameplay design, Mind's Eye could be a breakout hit for fans of immersive single-player experiences. If you love games like Control, Detroit, Become Human, or Quantum Break, this should be at the top of your 2025 must-play list. Mind's Eye is more than just a game. It's a mind-bending journey into the future of humanity. Dark fantasy fans, take note. Mandragora is shaping up to be one of the most compelling indie action RPGs in recent memory. Developed with a rich, gothic aesthetic and gameplay that blends Metroidvania-style exploration with Souls-like combat, this side-scrolling RPG offers a deep, punishing, yet rewarding experience in a hauntingly beautiful world. Let's dive into what makes Mandragora worth keeping on your radar if you're a fan of skill-based combat, deep customization, and narrative-driven gameplay. One of the standout features of Mandragora is its stunning hand-painted gothic world. Every location feels like a canvas brought to life, brimming with mood, mystery, and visual storytelling. The art direction alone gives it a distinct identity, capturing the melancholic tone of a world in decline while luring players to explore every shadowy corner. From decrepit castles and twisted forests to ruined cities and eerie dungeons, each area invites you to explore, uncover secrets, and battle your way through the horrors that inhabit this cursed realm. At its core, Mandragora is a side-scrolling Metroidvania infused with the punishing combat style of a Souls-like. You'll face a wide array of deadly enemies and brutal bosses that demand patience, strategy, and precision. Combat requires precise timing and counterattacks, strategic positioning, understanding enemy patterns, mastery of your chosen playstyle. Even early-game foes can wipe you out if you're careless. There's no room for button mashing here. Exploration is built around non-linear, interconnected levels, where unlocking new abilities opens access to previously unreachable areas. This classic Metroidvania design ensures that backtracking is not just encouraged, but essential as you hunt down hidden paths, treasure, and lore. Mandragora lets you begin your journey by choosing from 6 unique classes, each with its own skill tree made up of both active and passive abilities. But the game doesn't lock you into a rigid playstyle. Instead, it allows for hybrid builds, giving you the flexibility to combine abilities from across different trees and develop your own personalized combat setup. Whether you want to focus on brute strength, ranged attacks, spell casting, or agile dodging, Mandragora provides the tools to build the character that suits your strategy. Mandragora leans into its RPG roots with traditional gearing systems that include an arsenal of weapons and armor, consumable items, magical spells and abilities, dialogue choices that influence character arcs. You'll meet a diverse cast of characters throughout the world, each with their own stories, motivations, and quests. Dialogue options aren't just cosmetic. They can shape both your own journey and the outcomes of those around you. Dialogue choices that influence character arcs. You'll meet a diverse cast of characters throughout the world, each with their own stories, motivations, and quests. Dialogue options aren't just cosmetic. They can shape both your own journey and the outcomes of those around you. And quests. Dialogue options aren't just cosmetic. They can shape both your own journey and the outcomes of those around you. For those who crave a second or third challenge, Mandragora features a new Game Plus mode that amps up the difficulty while letting you retain your gear and accumulated knowledge. In a twist no one saw coming, Forza Horizon 5, Microsoft's critically acclaimed open-world racing game, is officially coming to the PlayStation 5 on April 29th. Long regarded as a crown jewel in the Xbox ecosystem, this move marks a significant shift in Microsoft's gaming strategy, one that embraces platform inclusivity over traditional exclusivity. Forza Horizon 5 making its debut on Sony's flagship console might feel as jarring as seeing Mario racing through Green Hill Zone with Sonic. outside of a crossover party game. But here we are in 2025, and what once would have been unthinkable is now a reality. This isn't a pared-down version, either. PS5 players will receive the full game, complete with all previously released downloadable content. Rally Adventure Expansion, Hot Wheels Expansion, and every chaotic, off-road, high-octane edition in between. Whether you're drifting through desert dunes, racing supercars along coastal highways, or launching off insane ramps in Hot Wheels-inspired tracks, PlayStation users are getting the complete Forza Horizon 5 experience. This move isn't just about putting a great racing game on another console. It's a bold statement from Microsoft. Their new strategy seems to say, we don't care where you play, as long as you're playing our games. In a way, it's a power move. Microsoft is expanding its influence by allowing some of its biggest exclusives to reach broader audiences, even if that means appearing on a competitor's system. It's a shift away from the console wars mentality that has divided the gaming community for decades. And frankly, it's refreshing. At the end of the day, great games should be played by everyone, regardless of the plastic box under their TV. Forza Horizon 5 is not just any racing game. It's widely considered one of the best open-world racing games ever made. With its breathtakingly detailed environments set in a fictionalized version of Mexico, dynamic weather, seasonal changes, and an enormous roster of vehicles, it offers an experience that blends realism with pure arcade fun. And now, PlayStation 5 owners can jump behind the wheel, experience the ever-evolving Horizon Festival, and take part in the same crazy stunts, high-speed showdowns, and community events that Xbox and PC players have been enjoying since the game's original launch. There's a sentiment among some die-hard fans that exclusives should stay exclusive, but that kind of thinking is starting to feel outdated. The truth is, everyone deserves access to high-quality games, and Forza Horizon 5 crossing over to PlayStation is proof that publishers are beginning to agree. Sure, it might feel odd at first, but imagine how many gamers get to experience this masterpiece for the first time, without having to switch ecosystems. That's not just good for players, it's good for gaming as a whole. Besides, let's be real. If you're mad that more people get to play a great game, you might be taking the console loyalty thing a bit too seriously. This is about more people getting to share in the joy of the open road. After more than 2 decades of silence, the Wolves are back. SNK is officially reviving the legendary fighting game franchise with Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, and it's shaping up to be a powerful return for one of the most iconic names in 2D fighters. Launching on April 24th, this long-awaited sequel will be available on PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Xbox Series XS. For fans of classic arcade brawlers and newcomers alike, this is one of 2025's most anticipated fighting game releases, and for good reason. The original Fatal Fury series helped shape the fighting game genre in the 90s. Now, 26 years after the last mainline entry, City of the Wolves marks a bold new chapter. But don't worry, it's still a true 2D fighter at heart. SNK isn't interested in simply copying modern trends. Instead, City of the Wolves is doing its own thing, with a distinct comic book-inspired art style that sets it apart from its longtime rival, Street Fighter. It's bold, colorful, and full of kinetic energy, exactly what a new Fatal Fury should look like in 2025. At launch, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves will feature 17 fighters, including both fan favorites and surprise additions. Returning icons include Terry Bogard, the face of Fatal Fury, still rocking that iconic cap and jacket. Rock Howard, Terry's protege and the next-gen fighter who's been a fan favorite since Garou, Mark of the Wolves. Other returning veterans from the SNK universe you know and love. But that's not all. Ken and Chun-Li from Street Fighter are also joining the roster as guest fighters, in a move that is fighting game fans buzzing. These crossovers are rare and incredibly hype. It's a testament to how big this game aims to be, and how it's leaning into nostalgia while embracing fresh energy. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves retains its roots in classic 2D fighting gameplay, but updates its mechanics with smoother animations, deeper combos, and a refined control system for both casual and competitive players. Expect precision-focused mechanics that reward timing and strategy. Flashy super moves and special attacks that feel satisfying to pull off. A possible revamp of the line system, which allowed players to fight on different planes in the original games, though SNK has yet to reveal the full combat system details. Whether you're a nostalgic veteran from the arcade era or a new player looking for a stylish, accessible fighter, City of the Wolves looks like it's bringing the heat. Unlike the ultra-polished realism of Street Fighter 6 or the cinematic flair of Mortal Kombat 1, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves is leaning hard into a bold comic book aesthetic. The visuals are sharp, stylized, and bursting with personality. perfectly complementing the game's high-energy pace and legacy as a cult classic. The animation style pays tribute to the SNK legacy while embracing the vibrant, punchy look of modern fighting games. It's a welcome evolution that still feels like Fatal Fury. Prepare to enter a breathtakingly surreal and emotionally intense world in Clair Obscur. Expedition 33, a dark fantasy turn-based RPG that promises to break genre norms. Set to release on April 24th for major platforms, this hauntingly beautiful title blends art, death, and mystery in a way that hasn't been done before. Crafted with a compelling narrative, unique gameplay mechanics, and an eerie, painterly aesthetic, this game is shaping up to be a standout title for fans of modern RPGs. In the haunting world of Clair Obscur, a mysterious and malevolent figure known as the Paintress holds dominion over life and death. Each year, she paints a single number in the sky, and when she does, everyone of that age vanishes, instantly gone, erased from existence. Now, as the cursed number creeps toward 33, humanity teeters on the edge of annihilation. To stop the Paintress, society launches Expedition 33, a desperate and final mission aimed at unraveling her secrets and putting an end to her reign. One of the most intriguing aspects of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 is its turn-based combat system, a refreshing callback to classic RPGs, but reimagined for a modern audience. The mechanics are deeply strategic, combining tactical decision-making, party synergy, and surreal magic-based combat to create thrilling and dynamic encounters. This isn't just another nostalgic throwback. The game uses its mechanics to enhance storytelling, giving weight to every choice and every battle. Fans of old-school RPGs will appreciate the familiar framework, while newcomers will find a polished, emotionally resonant experience. Visually, Clair Obscur is unlike anything you've seen in an RPG. The entire world is drenched in a dreamlike aesthetic, blending Baroque architecture, abstract dreamscapes, and rich, painterly visuals that look hand-brushed onto the screen. This immersive art direction creates an almost hypnotic environment, where every frame feels like a moving masterpiece. There's a heavy emotional undertone to every setting: abandoned cities, fading murals, and twisted landscapes that speak to themes of loss, inevitability, and rebellion. You'll join the 33rd and most important expedition, a team of uniquely skilled individuals, each with their own history, motivations, and stakes in the outcome. Their mission? Confront the Paintress and uncover the true nature of her power. But as players dive deeper into the story, the lines between good and evil, savior and destroyer, begin to blur. The plot hints at deeper philosophical questions about mortality, purpose, and who gets to control fate. The twist? Some believe you may actually become the next Paintress, a chilling possibility that raises the stakes with every decision you make. The lore surrounding Clair Obscur is already sparking fan theories. A popular one, that each expedition has unknowingly played a role in a cyclical system, a twisted form of population control masquerading as salvation. If this theory holds true, Clair Obscur could deliver a shocking twist where players realize they're part of a never-ending ritual, destined to repeat unless someone breaks the cycle. Could Expedition 33 finally end the suffering, or will it just begin another chapter in a centuries-old game? If you love the quirky chaos of the original Crashlands when it dropped in 2016, then buckle up. Crashlands 2 is landing on PC on April 10th, and it's bringing an explosion of neon color, wild crafting systems, and off-the-wall humor back to the survival genre. This isn't your average post-apocalyptic, grim and gritty survival sim. Crashlands 2 is survival gaming with personality, packed with vibrant visuals, snarky dialogue, and the kind of over-the-top creativity that makes you feel like you're living inside a cartoon fever dream. Forget gray wastelands and gritty realism. Crashlands 2 goes all in on bold colors, wacky creatures, and hilarious writing. Once again, you step into the boots of a spacefaring delivery driver, thrown into a chaotic alien world where crafting, taming beasts, and base building are all part of the job description. The first game won fans over with its charm and simplicity, and this sequel is turning the dial up to 11. With a fully 3D world now in play, the developers have expanded nearly every aspect of gameplay. The result? A survival sandbox that feels huge, unpredictable, and endlessly fun. While it keeps the core DNA of the original, fast-paced crafting, zany quests, and a tongue-in-cheek tone, Crashlands 2 adds major new features and a seriously upgraded experience. 3D world, no more flat terrain. The new 3D environment brings verticality and new possibilities for exploration, combat, and construction. Creature taming and riding. Encounter bizarre alien fauna, tame them, and ride them into battle or exploration. Think Pokemon meets space trucking. Enhanced base building. Build weirder, wilder bases with more customization, automation, and sheer personality than ever before. Expanded crafting and combat. Craft dozens of new tools, weapons, gadgets, and weird inventions while battling creatively designed enemies in real-time combat. Snarky storytelling. The game's signature humor is back, stronger than ever, with ridiculous characters and laugh-out-loud questlines. If Don't Starve, Rick and Morty, and No Man's Sky had a neon-hued baby, it would probably look a lot like Crashlands 2. Crashlands 2 is perfect for players who are tired of overly serious survival games, but still love the gameplay loop of gathering, building, and exploring. It trades tension and gloom for humor and spectacle, and that's exactly why it stands out in a genre that often leans too hard into realism. This is a survival game where you're encouraged to get weird, where riding a tamed space monster through a neon jungle while launching explosive pizzas at enemies isn't just possible, it's kind of expected. If you're looking for a funny and fast-paced crafting RPG, less stress, more chaos, creative base building, and zany upgrades, a unique art style with big Saturday morning cartoon energy, then Crashlands 2 belongs on your radar. Crashlands 2 officially launches on April 10th on PC, with other platforms likely to follow down the road. If you were a fan of the original or just want a fresh take on the survival genre, this is a must-watch release. In a sea of gritty survival sims, Crashlands 2 is a vibrant, chaotic, and hilariously refreshing alternative. It's not here to depress you. It's here to entertain the heck out of you while letting you craft alien weapons and ride bizarre creatures across bonkers biomes. So if you're ready for something fun, fast, and completely off the rails, make sure you don't miss Crashlands 2 this April. Survival has never looked this ridiculous or this fun.